Hello all, my name's Jack. Just like to, start documenting my model railway. I've decided to call this Clement Road. So the station will be called Clement Road Station, obviously. This layout's going to be set in the early to mid 90s. I just simply like all of the locos and the rolling stock of that period. Just like to show you what I've started, obviously, because my layout's only a baseboard once. So I've started off with a double split junction. To the left it goes towards a 6-lane fiddle yard, which isn't yet built yet, and then as it branches off to the right, it will be scenic coming round and then meeting back up to the fiddle yard on the other side of the layout. So you must excuse the mess, obviously I'm still working on it. This is the other side of the layout where the fiddle yard will join back onto the main scenic area of the layout. This area is sort of going to be going into semi-industrial, whereas the rest of it to your left, which you can't see, is going to be sort of scenic countryside, and then transitions on behind the camera into where the main station is going to be. So this area of the layout is going to be where the station and traction maintenance depot is going to be. I've decided to make the whole layout out of CLS timber and 12mm ply. I just simply want it to be as solid as possible. After all, I've put a lot of money into this, so I don't want it all to be falling to pieces or let down just by the baseboard. So as you might have noticed, there is a section of track missing. I've done this simply because obviously down there you have the loft hatch, and you'll be hitting your head and having to duck under it every time you want to get access to the layout. So for that reason I've made a drop-in drop-out section out of smaller battening that drops in and locks into the existing layout. So this is how I'm joining the track on the drop-in section. I took my inspiration from this from, if you might notice at model railway exhibitions, those modelers, they use a brass strip either edge of the conjoining boards, and they solder the track onto that brass strip. So when you remove the boards, the track is not damaged. What you have to make sure is that there is a centre cut, so that piece of brass and that piece of brass aren't touching each other, otherwise you'll get a short circuit. To connect the voltage from the centre drop-in section to the main layout, I've simply soldered 2 dropper wires onto either track, and they are going into a chocolate block with going onto 2 crimp connections, bullet connectors. So I simply have to just plug it straight in and it will be live. So one of my other interests with this hobby is weathering locos and rolling stock. This is my Class 37. It's a Bachmann model. I haven't yet finished weathering it. I've simply only done the roof. I've managed to get a faded paint effect. It's quite subtle but very effective. This loco, well, the history of this loco, I believe it came into service in this livery in the mid 70s and served well up into the 90s. So for that reason I made the paint all faded on the top. I did this with some Rail Match authentic colour. I'm not sure, I think it's just called Faded Rail Blue, number 451. There still needs to be some stuff done to this. If you want to see a video of me finishing this model off, I'll be happy to do that. So these are a few of the rolling stock that I've done. I left one original just so you can see the difference. That's all done with powders and also an airbrush. I need to tidy up the inside. I think I'm probably going to put a load in it, but this is just a practice. I don't think this will be going on my layout, simply because I don't think Yeoman was about in the 90s. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just need to look that up. Another one I've done is this container unit. I weathered this container with the anticipation of it sort of being sat in an industrial estate or something, because you would never really see anything this rusty on the in service on the main line. Usually people buy them privately and just leave them. We've got a EWS MEA that I just weathered with an airbrush, nothing else, no washes. I'm quite happy with that, quite subtle, but it does make all the difference. Weathered logos do make the difference. I mean, I enjoy doing it. So if you want to see any videos of me weathering these, just leave in the comments, and I'll be happy to do that. Got a good grasp of what's going on in this layout. I think I'll leave this video with a short time lapse of me laying some track. I'm probably just going to lay from this point onto the main junction. I'm still waiting on another set of points to complete this one, so the other point's just going to go there, and then I still need to get all the curve points to go up round and complete into the fiddle yard. Okay, so that's that track laid now. You might have noticed I had to take up this section and relay it all the way up to here. That's simply because I made the mistake of I started the curve just off this point, whereas I should have kept it straight, which I have done now. And I did that using one of these track setters. So when I slot that in there, as you can see, it slots in perfectly, so that's perfectly straight. And I went on to doing a 36-inch radius on the inner, but obviously I didn't have anything in between because that one's way too big, so I just used one of these spacers. So it's come out alright. I'm quite happy with that. So here's another angle. Another one there. So any questions, just feel free to comment. Just please like, subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Cheerio.